Hello children, welcome to our grammar video of lesson 16, sentence, subject, predicate and object. We all use sentences in our day-to-day life to make others understand what we think, what we feel or what we want. So a sentence, which we have already learned, is a group of words which makes a complete sense. For example, I am feeling thirsty. Children are sitting under the tree. The tiger has sharp claws, or the big eagle swooped over the giant. So these are the sentences which tells us what we think, what we know, or what we feel. Sentence has two parts. First part tells us about whom or what is the sentence about, and the second part says something more about the topic or about whom the sentence was. Like a chameleon changes its color to camouflage itself. Chameleon becomes that we are talking about it, and what is being told about it is becomes your second part. And this you have already learned in the lower classes that part of a sentence that tells us who or what the sentence is about is called a subject. The part of sentence that says something about the subject is called a predicate. Let us learn more in detail about subject. Subject is a sentence. Subject of a sentence may be a noun or a pronoun or a noun phrase. For example, Alex is swimming champion. Alex here is a proper noun. We cheer for her. We is a subject, but it's a pronoun. My pet dog Bruno likes to chase cats. Here, my pet dog Bruno becomes your noun phrase. Again, he caught a very difficult catch in the last match. The sentence is about he, which is pronoun. Simi has not reached the station. Simi is a noun, and the yellow and the green sweater has been knitted by my mother. So here the yellow and green sweater becomes the noun phrase and it's a subject of a sentence. Let us see what is predicate. Predicate refers to the part of a sentence that tells us about the subject. The term predicate is derived from the Latin word which means declared. It contains the verb and all the words supporting the verb. So predicate declares something about the subject in a sentence. Or you can say that predicate gives more information about the subject. So the verb is always a part of predicate and the verb comes first in a predicate. Remember this. Let's see an example. The sun sets in the west. What is the sentence about? The sentence is about the sun. And what is told about it? Sets in the west. Sets is your verb and the remaining part of the words becomes your predicate. Jaipur is the capital of Rajasthan. Subject is Jaipur and predicate starting with verb is the capital of. Now let us proceed or let us learn about subject and predicate in a comparative way. Subject is a part of a sentence that tells us what or who the sentence is about. And subject is always a noun, pronoun or a noun phrase. Whereas predicate is a part of sentence that what the subject is in the sentence is doing. It tells us more about the subject. And predicate will always contain a verb to tell what the subject is doing. And predicate starts with the verb. For example, Mr. Smith took a walk, where Mr. Smith becomes the subject and took a walk predicate. The dentist pulled out the tooth. The dentist is the subject, pulled out the tooth becomes a predicate. Move forward with the sentence part. It also has object. Object is the person or thing upon whom or upon which the action of the verb is carried out. In simple words, an object is the receiver of an action or receiver of the verb. For example, the teacher is teaching. What is verb here? Is teaching. So this teaching action is received by whom? Is received by students. So here, students becomes the object. Next example, Wendy dropped the glasses. What is verb here? Dropped. Now dropped what? Dropped the glass. So this glass becomes the object. A herd of sheep entered the garden. Is there any object here? No. It is the herd of sheep entered the garden. If you ask the question to the verb, entered what? You get the answer as subject. You don't get it as an object. So here there is no object in this sentence. Always remember object is a part of a predicate. An object can be a noun, pronoun, or a noun phrase. Now let us see. Take few examples and divide them in the part of predicate, subject, predicate, and object. She has written a novel. It is a pronoun. It is about she has done something, so she becomes the subject. As you know, that predicate starts from the verb. So has written a novel becomes the predicate. Now has written is a verb. Written what? The novel. So that novel becomes your object here. Same rule has been followed in the next given sentences. The boy sat on the bench. The boy subject from the verb predicate starts so on sat on the bench. Now here again sat. Who or what sat if you ask you get an answer boy. So but boy is the subject. So there is no object here. I have finished my homework. I becomes the subject. Have finished my homework. Finished what? My homework becomes your object. Bring a glass of water. Now here, the sentence doesn't have a subject, but it is an imperative sentence. And an imperative sentence, the subject is implied subject. It means it has to be, the subject has to be you. So if the subject will not be mentioned in the imperative sentences, those express command, request or instruction, it is understood that in such sentences, the subject is always you. So you bring, you, implied subject you, bring a glass of water, bring what? A glass of water becomes your object. I hope this lesson is very simple children. We have already learned about subject predicate. More what we have learned is about object in this chapter. Remember, subject is about whom the sentence is. Predicate tells what the subject has done, and object tells the receiver of the action. Thank you. Have a nice day.